Hey everybody, live from the barn today, and today you've just got me. Jesse is out on the road hauling some horses around, and the question that I am here to answer today for you is all about choosing joint supplements in 2024. And I say choosing joint supplements in 2024 because things change very quickly right now. Things are changing a lot very quickly right now in the equine world and the veterinary world. And I know for Jesse and I, it had been a number of years since we had really investigated, done a really kind of comprehensive look at all the different products that are on the market to see whether what we were doing was something that we could improve on. And as you know, we're building this tack shop, building our inventory here in the tack shop, and it was time for us to go through and have a look and see what products were on the market and kind of what things had changed, I guess, since the last time that we really had a look. So as a lot of you know, I'm a graduate of Meredith Manor International Equestrian Center, and when I was there, which was 20 years ago, we went through a number of products and had a look at what things kind of did what, because I think it's really important to make sure that we're not feeding something that our horses are not utilizing. There's a lot of good products that make promises on the containers, and the horses are not actually able to digest the ingredients. So at that time, we kind of went through some of those things and came up with a few options. And about probably, I guess maybe 10 years ago, I did another really comprehensive look to see, for us, we're feeding a lot of horses. So a look to see not just what products there were out there that actually were working, but also which was the most cost effective. And so we've basically been doing that over the last little while again. And the really neat thing is that so many things have changed, certainly in the last 20 years, but also just in the last 10 years, a lot of things have changed. And when I looked probably 10 years ago, what I noticed was that there were not a lot of products that were developed by vets, and there were not a lot of products that actually had studies about the results. And that's something that is important to me. I mean, it's not the end all and be all for sure, but it was something that was really important to me. And some of you know this, but my dad is a spinal cord injury researcher, and so through his experience with developing drugs and the clinical trials and, keeping track of all the symptoms of all of the patients, I kind of learned a lot about just how important those clinical trials and the development through a reputable source, a really reputable source, not to say that a feed company or something isn't going to really make sure that the product that they're advertising is working. But, when you have a doctorate behind your name, there's certain things that are required, and those things are important to me and to us. So I kind of developed this list of things that became important to us as we went along, and we were looking at the different things the different supplements. And essentially what it came down to was what has been developed by a vet, what supplements have studies that back them up, what supplements are being used either by a trusted friend or trusted professional, preferably as close to the type of horse and the type of work that we are doing. So a lot of times studies are done on a variety of horses, a variety of breeds, or a lot of times they're done on race horses. And it's not a be all and end all, but it was important to us to find something that other people with quarter horses and specifically reiners were using that was working, that they had good results from. And then the other thing for us, because of our location, was something that was legal in Canada. Because there are a lot of products that are great and that work well that are not legal in Canada. They're not, I believe they have to be registered with CFIA, and they're not here. So those were kind of the criteria. Is it developed by a vet? Are there studies that have gone into the results? Is it something that somebody that we know or somebody in the industry, or preferably both, are having some good use with, some good luck, and are reporting that they're seeing good results from? And is it something that is legal in Canada? And then obviously evaluating how cost effective it is, right? Because some of these joint supplements can be very, very expensive, and that's definitely a factor when we're trying to figure out whether it's something that we're going to use just for the show season, whether we're going to put our horse on it all the time, whether it's something that we can even afford, period, if it's something that we can create the same effect, but, you know, maybe using multiple products. So, you know, those things I think were kind of the top criteria. There's also the ease of administration. You know, do you want something that you have to give orally by syringe every day? Do you want something that you can just pour into your horse's feed? It has to be something that's palatable, that they'll actually eat. You know, there's so many things that kind of go into these decisions that we make about supplements. But I really wanted to keep it so that it was, you know, focused on those first four things that I mentioned, which was developed by a vet, some studies behind it, having knowledge of somebody or some people in the industry that it's working for, and then obviously legal in Canada. And then I kind of figured we could play around with the cost effective and play around with the ease of administration and whether it's palatable beyond that. But I really didn't want something that we could feed to our horses very easily but wasn't necessarily going to work, right? So anyway, I've done a comprehensive list, and I'm really pleased to report that there are a lot of supplements now that are developed by vets, and they actually have the logo on the outside, the developed by a veterinarian. They have this logo on them. There are a lot of studies that are publicly available that you can have a look at, so you can actually see the size of the study. Was the study done on 6 horses? Was it done on 1 draft horse, 1 Shetland pony, and a few standardbreds? Or was it done on the type of horses that you're riding? Was it done on 40 horses? Was it done on 100 horses? Was it done over so many years? So there are lots of those that are available. And if you are, which I'm assuming if you're watching this, then you're considering trying to find a joint supplement that works, then I would encourage you to do that research. Do dig deep and see what you can find, so that you really feel confident about the product that you're using. The other thing is there are definitely more in Canada than there used to be, but there are not a ton. And a lot of the big brand names that we see that are associated with, the NRHA and AQHA, a lot of them are not available in Canada. What we have, I don't want to say what we have decided on, but one of the things that was a no-brainer, one of the supplements that was a no-brainer for us was this Lubrisyn HA plus MSM product. I'm not saying that this is the only thing that we are going to be giving to our horses, or that it's the only thing that we're going to carry in the shop, but it met all the criteria kind of with flying colors, and we actually have had experience with this product in the past, and we know that it does work and it does help the horses. new things that I found out. Some of these things are new things that I found out in the most recent deep dive. One, the vet who developed this product, Dr. Stephen Alday, he was looking for a product that would support joint health without being as invasive as injections, as joint injections, or even intravenous injections. He was looking for something that, you know, every horse person could give to their horse easily and just didn't have the risk of infection with injections, or just the risk and the difficulty, the challenges with, you know, giving horses needles. So he developed this for that reason. It was studied at the Kentucky Research Center. And I actually was down at the Equine Affair on the weekend, which is a big expo and trade show. And I spoke with the vet tech. She was there representing Lubrisyn. And I spoke with the vet tech there, and she was telling me that she worked with Dr. Alday while they were studying this. She was working at the Kentucky Research Center, and she worked with him while they were developing this product. And so she loves it, obviously, and ended up taking a job with Lubrisyn, obviously. And she said that, I thought this was really interesting, she said that he developed it with that intent to support joints, and what they found was that it actually helped cure the ulcers that the horses had. You know, thoroughbreds have a lot of ulcers, and the HA was supporting the gut and helping to clear up any of those ulcers. So I thought that was kind of a neat, you know, sometimes there are bad coincidences that happen when you're trying a drug, and sometimes there are happy coincidences, and I thought that was kind of a neat, happy coincidence. So as I said, this one is developed by a vet. It's actually still, the company is still owned by the same vet. It's family owned. And his daughter does all of the marketing, and she does a really great job on the marketing. So it's very, very, you know, all of the documentation is really easy to understand. The website is fantastic. And so developed by a vet, studied by a vet, studies are available, so you can read up on any of the studies. But the Kentucky Research Center is pretty well known and pretty reputable for all kinds of things. All kinds of products have been developed there, and it's one of the largest, I know it's one of the largest centers for research. So those two things were obviously really important to us. Like I said, we've used the product before and had good luck with it. There are lots of people in the industry that are using it. It is legal in Canada. It is whatever it has to be, registered with CFIA or whatever. And the horses will, it's easy. You know, in this bottle, you've got the serving here, and it is really palatable. The horses like it. So it has kind of met all of our criteria again, and that's why we've brought it into the shop. I'm sure that there are other products, and I know that there are other products, you know, because I looked at them, and there are lots of good products on the market. This one, to me, made a lot of sense because of the fact that it also helps protect against ulcers. So when you look at the cost, you get a little bit more of that value because you're not having to, you know, you can basically use this product instead of also using a product for ulcers, you know, depending on the horse, obviously, in the situation. But that was kind of a neat, I just thought that was kind of a neat thing to add on to that. So it's reasonably priced. It does work. They also have a line of wound care that's kind of neat. And it's hyaluronic acid. It's got antiseptic in it and antibacterial in it, and it's got a little bit of an analgesic. So again, the vet tech that I was talking to was telling me that she uses it on her bug bites because it takes the sting out of the bug bites. But she loves it on the horses. It's safe. She loves it because it's safe for a hyperbaric chamber, and that's a lot of the work that she does. But it helps to heal, and it helps to get rid of any of that bacteria or anything that could get in there, and it helps to take a little bit of the pain out. So this one's comes in a couple different bottles. You can get it like this, which is like just a little gel. This one also is a gel, but it comes in the spray bottle, so it's just a little bit easier to get onto wounds. The Lubrisyn is the highest molecular weight. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on my hand so you can kind of see how viscous it is. It's the highest molecular weight HA, and it's actually human grade. So any of this product you can actually use yourself, and it's safe for small animals. So I don't know how much of that you can see, but it just goes onto the skin kind of nicely. Nice and easy, absorbs nicely. I'm gonna have no wrinkles and be 10 years younger in a few minutes. No, some of you might know about HA from skincare. It's definitely really popular in skincare right now. So that is, I mean, that's not the end all and be all of joint supplements for sure, but it's definitely the one that I'm the most excited about right now. Yes, we do have it in the shop, and Kat, you're asking if it's on the website. It is on the website. There are a few different sizes. There's a pint. There's this one, which I believe is the quart size. This one is nice because it has that serving thing, you know, so you can just squeeze it up into there, and then you don't have to worry about having like a little cup, like a little measuring spoon or anything with it. It does, I will tell you though, it does with this container, it is hard to get the last little bit out of the bottom. But what we found is that there's actually two other sizes that are bigger. There's a half gallon and there's a gallon. So if you try it and you like it, and then you buy, let's say, the half gallon or the gallon, you can just use those to refill this. So you can still use that serving thing, and then you can just take that with you if you're going to a horse show, just a little bit easier. The half gallon and the gallon comes with a big pump on it. So it's also easy, and it's easy just to pump right into the feed. But a lot of people are liking, you know, just starting with this size. So yeah, those are on our website. And Lindsay, you're saying signed you up for some wound care. Yeah, I really am excited about using this. So I haven't used the wound care stuff before. The vet tech that I saw at the Equine Affair gave me these and to try. She loves them. So I'm excited to try these and kind of see how they work in the barn, and I will report back on those. I do not have those on the website yet because I don't like to put anything on the website that we haven't tried and we can't, you know, talk about and be really, I guess, really be excited about, and also advise you on how to use it, what it works well for. But those two things I will report back on. I do have them in the barn, so I'm gonna start trying them on some different things and kind of see how they work. I do love to have a great spray, a great wound care spray that's just for all the little things. You know, like one of the horses today in my lesson had a little bit of that, you know, that scruffy stuff on the front of their cannon bones, and it was kind of made worse with the boots that she had on. I do love having a good spray that I can kind of use for everything, just like that. Is the wound care safe for pregnant mares? Sharon, I'll have to find out and get back to you. I would imagine that it is, but I will ask and find that out for you. HA, hyaluronic acid, like I don't know what I'll have to find out. I would imagine it is. It doesn't look like there's anything unusual in this, but hyaluronic acid, you already have it in your body, and this is the highest molecular weight. Nobody should have a reaction to just hyaluronic acid. Everybody should be able to use that. Human, horse, dog, cat. because it's already naturally occurring inside of the body. So I don't imagine that that would be harmful for a pregnant mare, but I will check on the wound care for you and I will get back to you. Thanks for asking that. That was a good question. I hadn't asked that one yet. If there's any other questions, you guys, you can leave them in the comments and I would be happy to get back to you on those. I think I answered all the questions that we had about that. I have some literature here. Like I said, the website is really, really great, but I do have some literature here that kind of explains a little bit more about what the joint supplement is and what it does. Basically, it just replaces synovial fluid, which is like the cushion in between the joints. So it's similar to like what Adequan does, but Adequan is a lot of times it's on back order, and it's an injection. This is a daily feed supplement. There's a little bit about the vet on here. There's just a little bit more information on some of these things, and there's like a booklet that talks about all the different products and all the different sizes. But you can find all of that information on the website. If there's anything that you have questions about as far as using it in the barn, yeah, happy to answer any of those questions that I can answer. The other thing that I want to say is that there are a lot, like I said, I've said this, I guess, a few times already, but there are a lot of great products that are out there. And, you know, I feel like somebody is going to ask, nobody's asked yet, but somebody's going to say, well, what about glucosamine? What about chondroitin? What about, you know, and this joint supplement doesn't have those. This is just hyaluronic acid and MSM. And there are benefits to glucosamine and chondroitin. There seems to be a lot of really positive information about hyaluronic acid and MSM, both in kind of the veterinary world and as far as like the legit studies go, as well as just anecdotal use in the barn. And so that was kind of where we wanted to stick. I do think there is a benefit to glucosamine and chondroitin. I don't know whether it's something that we will add at some point. You know, we might, but right now this is a really great product that, you know, met all of that criteria. If we find another one, I will let you know about that as well. Okay, thanks for being here, you guys. I hope that answered some of your questions, or at least maybe gave you something to think about. Maybe it's going to prompt you to go ahead and do a little bit more research about joint supplements or to consider giving one. And like I said, if you have any questions, happy to answer those for you. Thanks for being here with me live or for catching the replay, and I will chat to you next week. Have a good week.